King Charles told world leaders that the world was embarking on a vast, frightening experiment on the natural world. This experiment risks triggering feedback loops in climate system that will lead to irreversible disaster. Noting that 2023 is hottest year on record at the COP28 UN Climate Summit on Friday, King said records are now being broken so often that perhaps we have become immune to what they really tell us. We need to pause. We are taking the natural world beyond balanced norms and boundaries into dangerous, uncharted territory. In his opening speech, which called on leaders make COP28 critical turning point, he warned, "We are conducting a vast, frightening experiment to change every ecological condition at once, at pace that far exceeds nature's ability to cope. Now our choice is starker and darker. How dangerous are we actually willing to make our world?" More than 130 heads of state and government gathered in Dubai for opening days of a 2-week summit, at which countries aim to chart a course to prevent the world from exceeding global warming limit 1.5 C. Industrial temperatures. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said world was miles away from meeting the Paris Agreement, while 1.5-degree target was only minutes to midnight. He insisted leaders could still make a difference if they showed political will. You can prevent planetary crash and burn. If we act now, we have the technology to prevent the worst climate chaos. More countries on Friday came forward to make contributions to a loss and damage fund announced on day one that will help recover and rehabilitate vulnerable countries affected by climate disaster. Some developing countries have told Guardian that $420 million in financing agreed so far is not what it seems, with some of funds appearing to be used for purposes other than existing aid and some in form of loans. It was said that Saudi Arabia was also considering contributing to the fund, which would be a first for the oil-producing state. World leaders have signed a declaration on transforming food systems, the first polis resolution to directly address the symbiotic relationship between what people eat and a changing climate. The resolution recognizes that unprecedented adverse climate impacts increasingly threaten resilience agriculture food systems, as well as ability of many people, especially most vulnerable, to produce and access food and face increasing hunger, malnutrition, economic stresses. More than 100 countries signed the declaration and pledged to include food and land use in their climate plans by 2025. The declaration was widely welcomed by small-scale and indigenous farmers, who produce 1/3 of the world's food, as well as food rights advocates, consumer associations and small business groups. Droughts fueled by global warming are an unprecedented emergency on a planetary scale and are leading to food shortages and famine. A UN report has warned. 000154 Rishi Sunak tells COP28 Clim.